They can't vote.
They have
They cannot vote.
They have an impact on
They
federal
cannot
elections,
vote.
which we just spent like
We just
5 minutes
talked
going
about,
over.
you said voters.
That's nonsense. You can't do that. It's not a way to run a country. Before you know it, you're not going to have a country.
What is going on, everyone? James Klug here. President Trump wants a new U.S. Census to exclude the millions of illegal immigrants in the country. The census currently includes illegal immigrants, and that has a direct impact on the number of representatives that a state has in the House of Representatives. So do people want the census to only count Americans? Today we're going to find out. Let's go talk to some people. Do you think that illegal immigrants should have a direct voice in our federal government?
Yeah, of course they do.
Should they?
They should.
To answer your question, no. You have to be a citizen of our country in order to be able to do that.
No.
No.
No, they should not.
No.
Well, they're illegal. So just because they're illegal, you have no right because you came here illegally committing a crime.
Yeah.
I think having someone with the history of being an illegal immigrant in the United States government would be helpful, just because I feel like the U.S. has a lot of immigration happening. And even so now with immigration happening, I think having someone within that power, that authority, using that voice could really, help what's going on with current events. It really, speak volumes like, hey, I'm here, I did it, I'm in power, I'm in Congress, and I'm looking out for you guys. I think it'd be very welcoming, it'd be very like, I kind of got you, kind of thing.
And welcoming to who, do you think? You think immigrants or you think illegal immigrants?
I think to illegal immigrants, it would be, definitely like a kind of like a assuring, I guess, kind of a way.
Why do you say they should?
I think anybody should stand up for the rights and where they live and how far, as far as, if they're paying taxes and working here, I think they should have every right to do what they want.
The reason I'm asking that, Trump's proposing a new U.S. Census that excludes illegal immigrants. Sounds like you guys support that?
Yep.
Do you agree with that?
To exclude the people? No, boy, it's a tough one because so many people have been in our country and they've been doing very important things that our country needs.
Well, I didn't know if it originally included them, to be honest with you. So, if someone lives here, they live here. So, a census would tell what people think and what people have to say. And so I think everybody who lives here should be included.
It sounds like you disagree with that.
I do.
I think a country's census should include the citizens of the country.
Okay. Not that controversial of a take, huh? What do you think? You agree with that or no?
Yeah, I totally agree with that. As I feel anyone that votes, I think voter ID is appropriate. And I think we must be illegal, come in through that front door, get legalized. And right now we're trying to recover the country, get it back on the straight path, get the ship right, and get things going.
There's some. We're taking on some water there for a moment,
absolutely.
and trying to get some of that out now.
Yeah, you know what? It's unfortunate, but our government's led us down some bad roads, and it's all about control and power. And I think he's seen that from an outside person as a businessman. So he's trying to make those changes.
The reason why we're talking about it is because the U.S. Census, it does many things, but it also determines the amount of representatives that a state has in the House of Representatives, giving the American people a direct voice in our government. Should illegal immigrants have an impact, and should they have a direct voice in our government?
No.
Should illegal immigrants be impacting that? Impacting
They
basically
live here, they live
federal
here.
elections.
My answer is the same. They live here, they live here.
Why do you think that they should have a direct voice in the federal government when the job of Congress is to represent the American people? What would you say to the American people that maybe disagree with you to convince them otherwise?
I got no comment on that.
All right, picture this. What if you could delay your next 2 mortgage payments? That's right. Imagine putting those next 2 payments in your pocket and finally getting a little breathing room. It is possible when you call our friends over at American Financing today. If you're feeling stretched by everyday expenses, gas, groceries, bills piling up and never seems to end, you are not alone. Most Americans are putting these expenses on credit cards, and there doesn't seem to be a way out. American Financing can show you how to use your home's equity to pay off that debt. You need to call American Financing today before you get to the point where you can't make those payments. Their salary-based mortgage consultants are helping homeowners just like you restructure their loans to consolidate debt, all without upfront fees. And their customers are saving an average of $800 per month. That is like a $10,000 raise. It's simple, it's fast, and it could save your budget this summer. Call now before it's too late, 888-891-3262. That is 888-891-3262, or visit AmericanFinancing.net/James Klug. That is AmericanFinancing.net/James Klug. Thank you so much to American Financing for sponsoring this video. We greatly appreciate you guys. Let's get back in this video. Oh, also, link will be down in the description below. And the census doesn't ask whether or not you're a citizen or not. It includes the 25+ million illegals that we have here. And
it's not that many, but that's okay.
over the last 4 years, we had minimum of 10 that came into the country, and we already had 15 before that.
About 10 million right now, out of 40 million immigrants.
I'm sorry, the total number is 10?
Out of 40, yeah. We have 40 million immigrants approximately, and I think the total undocumented is about 10.
Well, the number of illegals before Biden's administration was roughly estimated to be about 15 million.
Yeah, but now it's a little less.
So after they imported 10 million, it went down?
I'm just saying that those are the numbers that I am aware of.
Oh, okay.
that we have 40 million total immigrants in the country.
I guess we could play with that 10 million number. The overwhelming majority are in blue districts. This is giving...
Should they be included in the census?
Yeah.
And the census
determines how many seats are in Congress.
My feeling is they should not be included in the census.
Yeah.
How were they counted illegally?
I'm sorry, what do you mean?
How did we count these people illegally?
I didn't say illegally. I said we did count illegal immigrants in the U.S. Census.
How did we count people that were illegally in the country? How did we do that?
Because we're not giving them to citizens, we're giving them to everybody. So everyone fills out the census.
So you're saying that the numbers in the census counted illegal aliens unfairly? That we have those numbers?
No, I'm just saying that they counted them.
Yeah, saying they counted them.
Are you saying that's not happening?
Yeah, I say that those numbers are really small, those illegals that were counted in the census. Do you think somebody that's illegal is going to run up and say, yeah, count me for the census. I want to be counted. That's kind of not smart, wouldn't you say?
I mean, when it comes down to the U.S. Census, anybody can fill it out, but it's also just getting a rough estimate of how many people are in a particular area. So if you have, let's say, before the Biden administration, at a minimum, 15 million illegals, those people are still roughly being counted in the system. And the interesting part about that, it actually creates an interesting incentive to open up the southern border to bring in as many illegals as possible, because what does the census do, right? Determines how many representatives a state has in the House of Representatives. So there's every upside for importing as many people as you possibly can, even though it might be the wrong thing to do for the country.
But we don't count all those people. You say we do, but we don't.
The other party was bringing in people to get votes to keep the control of the House or what have you, right? The states, cities, and counties. But that's nonsense. You can't do that. It's not a way to run a country. Before you know it, you're not going to have a country, And I think it's good that you have laws, you have borders, and but also I like the freedoms that we have. And eventually you'd lose those freedoms if you kept bringing in more people and more ideologies and what have you.
If they did exclude illegal immigrants from the U.S. Census, that would pretty much systematically transform modern American politics, because Democrats would lose probably dozens of seats in Congress. What do you think about that? And the reason I say that is because the majority of illegal immigrants are in sanctuary cities, areas where they get benefits and protection from deportations.
But when did that, was that the case 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 25 years ago?
Yeah. There's no citizenship question on the census. You
raised some good questions, dude.
What'd you say?
You raised some good questions. I mean,
that's why we're out here today, man.
Where did you get your information about the numbers of people that are counted in the census that were illegal? Do you know how many people that was? How many people in this last
census
census
doesn't determine who is in the country illegally or not.
But you just said.
So they just count everybody.
A whole bunch of people.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're missing the point.
No,
you are. You're missing the
point. For some reason, you think they're excluded for some reason, but the census counts everybody.
But the census can't count everybody. You can't count everybody because we don't talk to everybody or count everybody in the country.
Yeah, it's a rough estimate. So you're saying because I don't understand your point.
Well, my point is your census numbers, they're wrong. Because first of all, the census does not count everybody in the country. It counts everybody it can in the country.
It gets an estimate. So if there's 30 million people
now
here.
We're at an estimate. We're not at real
Wait, it
numbers.
doesn't get exact. I mean, that's
now we're knowing it's not exact. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
So, but you said
I'm curious what your point is.
What you said to me was all of these illegals were counted during the census.
Perhaps I'll get rid of the word all, right? So illegals are included in the census as well.
Yeah, there are some, yes.
But if you have, 30 million in the country, I mean, that's a massive
So
number.
where'd you get 30 million?
So there's about 15 before, roughly 15 to 20.
Where did you get that number?
That's from Pew.
You sure?
Yes.
Can you verify that number from Pew? I'm not sure you can.
Oh, you want me to pull it up right now?
So, no, I don't care. It doesn't matter.
You want me
You're
to
not
show it
going
to
to
you?
change my mind. You're not going to change my mind.
Pew Research is
Because-
gold standard for research in the United
because-
States?
Yeah, but not right now. Because Pew's
Not
little.
right
yeah, Pew's been a little sketchy. Because Pew's got to worry about the Trump administration.
Wait, no, these are numbers before the Trump administration.
But still, the census does not count everyone in the country, and you
It gets
told
it gets
me,
it gets an estimate, and they use that
and
number.
so what we're doing now is we're concentrating our information on another problem.
Yeah. 12 and 15. Thank you for checking on that. He doesn't trust them though, so it doesn't.
Thank you. Said 30.
No, I was telling him 15,
No,
and that's
you
before
said-
the Trump.
you
That's
said
before
30.
the Biden administration.
You said 30. Well, it'll be on your tape.
Of course it will. Yeah.
Yeah, it will.
It will be. 15 before the Biden administration. They brought in an extra minimum 10. In a span of 4 years, it was the worst border crisis in
So
American
that's
history.
25, not 30.
These are rough estimates. If that were to have happened and they excluded illegal immigrants from the U.S. Census, Democrats would lose dozens of seats in Congress. Do you think that would be? I mean, that would transform.
You're assuming that there is some correlation between undocumented people and Democratic politics or Democratic Party politics. I don't think there is any sort of association related to that.
Oh, why is that?
In fact, if you look at even in terms of how people vote and so on, there is no correlation between immigrants per se and whether they vote Republican or Democrat.
The overwhelming majority of
majority
first-generation
might be-
immigrants
might be
vote
that.
Democrat.
But that may be changing, and that could be changing, and depending on communities and so on. So.
Do you mind if the reason I'm saying that, because we're not saying that they can vote, but they are in blue districts because those cities,
Correct.
one, give them benefits, but two, also protect them from deportation. So the overwhelming majority of illegal immigrants go to those blue districts. That's why I'm saying that Democrats would lose congressional districts.
There's a welcoming element to it, without a doubt. Where they
Protection,
can find,
benefits.
Where they can find support and so on. Absolutely, yeah.
Your own number was 10 million. Losing 10 million people, congressional districts go based on population. So you would end up with, again, majority of them are in blue areas.
But
You would end up with dozens of lost
I don't
seats.
look at American politics from the standpoint of a population determining whether a Republican or Democratic Party is going to be in power. I think that kind of is decided in every election when people vote.
So you don't think that there's going to be an impact against Democrats losing millions of illegals?
I don't.
Even though majority of those people are in blue districts.
Because those districts are already Democratic.
Right, but
congressional
they would get less because there's a shrink in population.
That's potentially what might happen. And but on the other hand, Democrats were in power for countless decades in terms of the Congress. These things go back and forth. I don't think. Again, I'll go back to the position. I don't think there's a direct correlation between census, population, and Democrat or Republican per se.
Well, the U.S. Census
Democrats made it-
determines the amount of representatives that a state has in the House of Representatives.
That's
So there is a
different-
direct.
that's a different
There is a direct.
That is a direct. You didn't ask that question.
Oh,
That-
maybe I wasn't clear enough.
I would be 100. Yeah, that question is a more significant question, whether you lose some representation, but that doesn't mean it's not Democratic or Republican representation. You just lose representation.
Well, but here's the thing. This is where we go to that next part. Because the majority of people that are in the country illegally are in blue districts.
Again, I would just say that is a not spurious connection right now.
So you think that that's not true because they are attracted to no benefits in red districts and being subject to deportation in red districts?
No, I don't think there's any correlation between that or one way or the other.
And if Democrats are getting dozens of seats in Congress because people that are here illegally are being counted, we're kind of looking at that. We're like, okay, well, hold on. Is there a loophole here when it comes to, hey, you can give them benefits, you can protect them by not working with ICE, and you could bring in millions of people that are not citizens, and that results in you getting more seats in Congress. What do you think about that? You think that's fair?
No, but money talks.
Money
When you got a ton of money.
Should the job of Congress, should it be to represent the American people instead of people that are not Americans?
I think both. Yeah.
I think that's crap. I think what you just said is incorrect.
Sorry, which part?
The bringing people in for vote so they can
Oh,
vote.
of course they are. Absolutely.
Absolutely. Who said that?
not-
Do you know?
Well,
Are
no,
you-
I'm just saying the strategy
are
is
you
kind
an
of common
expert on
sense.
that? Do you know? You said common sense. I'm skeptical on your common sense now.
Why? Democrats have everything to gain for importing as many people as possible.
But Republicans use every trick in the book, and you're trying to say the Democrats are just importing people to vote. They can't vote.
They have
They cannot vote.
They have an impact on
They
federal
cannot
elections,
vote.
which we just spent like
We just
5 minutes
talked
going over.
about, you said voters.
All right, everyone, that is it for today. Let's get our founder tier members' names up on the screen. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. Greatly appreciate it. You guys, I think a lot of people just seemed really confused about this video topic. Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, please make sure to hit that like button. Make sure to subscribe for more videos and hit that bell notification button so you are notified next time I post. I'll catch you all in the next one. Also, founder tier members, you guys are the absolute best. Thank you for supporting the channel, making these videos possible. You guys rock. We'll see you later.